We don't know how big the world actually is.
Yeah.
So you know the map, right, of all the countries?
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna show you another map. They found it in Japan of what the Earth low-key is supposed to be. So this is low-key the map.
That's
like the circle?
That's the regular map that
Yeah, the circle. Yeah, that's us. And outside is like 20 different countries. And what I'm saying is, right, think about it. There's no way to figure out how big the Earth is unless you see it yourself. The government could have many islands, like private islands that they don't put on maps, to use like as testing sites, as like bomb sites, as just bunkers. They don't have to put it on the map.
That's true.
Like NASA controls all of that. They control what we see. They control what we know. So what I'm thinking is that little circle is us, right?
Yeah.
And NASA is trying to like edit everything out, like edit all the real, like how big the Earth really is, like that. And the things on the other Earth is like aliens. And like, you know, when we see UFOs, those are just like aliens just passing over. Yeah. Sheesh. And on some even crazier, right? What if like the aliens made treaties with us, right?
Or so we're working together.
Yeah, but the higher up people. You know how we think we're in like a simulation sometimes, but we're not in a simulation. We're just in the system. They're just studying like how we act when it goes left, like nuclear bombs, war, disaster, diseases, and they're just studying to see like how we study animals and shit like that. Like imagine that.
Nah, that map is crazy. Like that look like that's surrounding.
There's like extra like 20 countries.
That's surrounding us.
What's the difference between a 90-year-old dollar bill and a modern-day dollar bill? Do you notice anything? Old dollar bills were called silver certificates, established in 1887. These were $1 in silver payable on demand of the bearer. So the dollar got its name because a dollar was a weight in silver. However, from about 1913, the creation of the Federal Reserve, to around 1963 with Richard Nixon, it was systematically detached from a fixed unit, and now what you have are Federal Reserve notes. All the redeemability text was removed, and this was added legal tender for all debts, public and private. So this is fiat currency, fiat meaning by decree. Or in other words, it has value because the government says it has value, and we know that America's got the biggest guns, so that's kind of why it's also still the ruling currency. Now the problem with this system is that silver, gold, it must be mined physically, refined, and then minted. Whereas a dollar bill, it can be printed into infinity. Inflation is supposed to be at around 2%, but it's not. Even this year, it's estimated between 6 and 10%. So you have dollars in your savings account, it's gonna buy you 6 to 10% less next year. And by the way, even in 1965, the Coinage Act, the second one, they removed silver and copper from our coins. Now they're made of zinc. So it's kind of this long systematic debasement. And what happens with this is that the rich end up benefiting from this system because they know how to utilize debt. They don't pay taxes because of it, and they invest in stocks or mutual funds which outpace inflation. Whereas the average person who has their savings account in dollars just ends up getting robbed of their hard work and their labor, you know. And by the way, dollars are also loaned with interest. So these also are really units of debt, receipts of debt. And there doesn't even exist enough dollars in circulation to pay off the debt on the original loan.
Do you know what happened?
No, what happened?
Okay, I just found this out. Apparently, the creator of Pimp My Ride, first of all, they would make the people that would go on there sign a contract that, like, they can't sell their car. They can't, like, pretty much they can't fucking complain about what they do to their car. And then they would add stuff that just mechanically didn't allow the car to function. But since they had already signed a contract, they couldn't even get rid of the car, even though it was like not functioning anymore. And then it turned out to be, I think that the creator of Pimp My Ride, I think he like murdered his wife.
No way.
So now I'm sad because that was literally one of my favorite fucking shows.
Yeah, I fucking lived for Pimp My Ride. My name is Future Bombs, and this is how I got permanently banned from TikTok at almost 1 million followers. This is the very last video I made before getting erased from the platform, and I just so happened to be criticizing TikTok for silencing my video making fun of Kim Jong-un. But I find it highly sus that a Chinese-based app would find it necessary to completely wipe me off of the platform for simply criticizing an evil, brutal dictator who they happen to be aligned with.
This is one of the saddest mysteries on YouTube. Kenny Veach, or Snakebit McGee, was a YouTuber who basically just filmed his hiking videos in the desert. One day he told his followers that he had encountered a weird cave in the shape of an M. He said that when he tried to enter the cave, he felt a strange sensation and his whole body started to vibrate. His community then begged him to go back and film it to show them what he had found. So he filmed a video looking for it, but unfortunately he couldn't find it. This is when his community started to call him a liar, saying that the cave never existed. So he relented and decided to go back out and look for it again. According to his family, he set out to look for the cave, but then this is where it gets strange. Kenny never returned home after that trip, and the video was never uploaded. That's been well over half a decade now, and nobody has seen Kenny since. So what happened to Kenny Veach? His girlfriend actually released a statement afterwards that shed some light on it. Like and follow for part 2.
Okay, tell me a story about something that you cannot explain.
Yeah, so in the spring of 2017, my classmates and I, 3 of my classmates and I, we took a trip to Paris. Trip went fine. On the last day of the trip, we, all 4 of us, piled into a car and headed to the airport. Now, somewhere in the airport, and I don't remember this completely, I just know at some point I wasn't near them. I think maybe I went off to find food or something. But at some point they were like texting me, Katie, where are you? We're boarding. And at the 12th hour, I made it. I made it to the terminal. In fact, I remember thinking that the ceiling was so cool that I took this photo. This is a photo from me sitting on the floor waiting for my section of the plane to board. And all the girls were there. I remember walking on that aircraft past 2 of my friends and sitting like 3 rows behind them next to my other friend, classmate, whatever. Flight went fine. And then the 4 of us took a taxi back to the apartments we were staying in while we were in school. And even more so, I distinctly remember in the WhatsApp, the girls talking about, let's go home and change and go to the beach. They wanted to go to the beach after the flight. I delete messages, I don't still have it, but that happened. 2 days later in class, I walk in and the 2 girls who were seated 3 rows in front of me, they're talking about how they missed the flight back from Paris. They're talking about how they missed the flight, and they had to take a second flight and they came back by themselves. And my other friend is sitting there conferring with them. And I'm like, they were 3 rows in front of us. You guys went to the beach. I did not go because I needed to sleep. But I was in the taxi on the ride back into the city. And to this day, I have no idea why they remember those 2 missing the flight. And I remember all 4 of us being on that flight. And then even have memories of what we did after the flight, like being in the taxi together and going to the beach, or them going to the beach and talking about it in the group chat. There's still like a discrepancy. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Focus, but when you see this, right? Let's be clear. When you see this, 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 when you see the checkerboards on the floor, when you see the skull and bones, when you see the signs and symbolism, when you slow down the music, Jay-Z new video with Nas and DJ Khaled is a scene where it's checkerboards. These are all occult, Satanist, symbolic symbols. So what I'm saying is, and I'm gonna tell you why and me personally, I've been in music for a minute, had deals and all that, bro. I don't give a f about this. Well, what I know, for me, I study so I know when I see it, so I know what to avoid. You're trying to sacrifice your ass and you're not studying. God told us to read and be knowledgeable. So when I see Jay-Z, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? You're not no gang member. You got checkerboard floors. You got skull and bones. What does this mean? Because it's not just there. You look at Cardi B's album cover, it's checkerboard. You look at Dream Doll, now she's the checkerboard too. Like, I'm not, y'all. These, let me tell you something. These sell they soul, they practice witchcraft.
What does it mean though?
What it means, what it means.
What does the checkerboard mean?
It means mind control. So you got classical conditioning, you got operational conditioning. So what they do is they use programming. So
MK Ultra?
Yeah, but it's to push an agenda. So
you heard it before, right?
I heard of MK Ultra, but I don't pay that.
So the checker. So what I'm saying is, not saying that we care about it because I'm not a conspiracy theorist. It's just that this is what I look for. When I see a success, I'm looking for anything
to say that they didn't do it on their own.
Detain it. Not to say
that's not a good way to look at
things. That's not a good way to look at it.
Are Lady Gaga and Amy Winehouse the same person? As the theory goes, Amy Winehouse actually faked her own death in 2011 in order to live out the rest of her life as Lady Gaga. Believers of this theory think that the reason why Lady Gaga wore so many different costumes and headpieces and glasses and things that would kind of distract you from her appearance early on is because at the time she was living a double life as Lady Gaga and Amy Winehouse at the exact same time and didn't really want to, tell everybody about it and draw attention. Allegedly, by setting up Lady Gaga's career before actually faking her own death, it allowed her to just step in as Lady Gaga without having to build another career completely from scratch, if that makes sense. People also think this theory explains how Lady Gaga went from being kind of just she was on the pop charts, but not really a super respected musician, to singing with Tony Bennett. Because Amy Winehouse obviously already had a relationship established with him, so obviously if he knows who it really is, he would definitely trust her and allow her to make that transition in her career that really wouldn't make sense for a lot of pop stars. So what do I think are the chances of this being true? I would say 1%, if that. I personally don't think they're the same person. I think there's too much evidence that we can obviously see that's working against it, but I'll never say never.
That does not feel right. That does not feel right. You know what I'm saying? She feels me. What the hell? Alright, we're only gonna get the top. Only the top. I'm gonna flip the camera around. Alright. So we're gonna try it. My lighter, my Chanel. Put it in the ball. It's very fluffy. Hold on. My fiance is gonna watch in the background. Okay. Me. So, snow. I got the top stuff so there wasn't dirt or anything in it. I'm gonna just put it in a ball over here. Okay. And they're saying that when you burn it, it turns black and smells like plastic. Okay? Number one, it feels fucking weird to me. Yeah, snow feels like this, but it's oh, shit. Hold on, let me just do this real quick. Immediately turning black. Oh no. What is happening? Alright. So then they say smell it and it smells like plastic. It's black. But then I'm smell it. But then I'm okay, so let's be like normal people and just say that it's like this. Like it's the lighter. You know what I'm saying? Come here and feel this though.